This is Eric Winwood, back with you with more self-elevated EDF/Spring Power Universal Exoskeleton Armor updates. And I was basically doing the mechanized cockpit for the mechanized armor. And basically, with the design of this is basically, like I said before, I just know what's possible in technology. And then, like, for its robots, you can build like a robot nearly as big as you want to. The problem is you're going to control it with a person, or if you can't control it with a person at all. And then I was thinking, well, I know for a fact, if you want a robot that can survive in battle, you want to have a big size robot. I mean, you even have tanks. I mean, huge as they is, weighing 30, 40,000, 50,000 pounds and still being taken out because you got really, really strong weapons also in the military. Just as strong as armor. Most weapons in the military are way stronger than the armor, especially when you're talking about body armor. But every little bit counts. That's the thing. It's better than getting hit with bare skin. But in general, for as the mechanized armor go, I always thought like that's pretty cool. But like these robots are like, and I was looking at like stuff like Gundam Wing. I mean, you look at like the new Skyrim and things of that nature. You're talking about robots, or like I said, in like Skyrim and Gundam, I mean, like 10 stories tall, 20, 30, 40 feet tall. I mean, you're talking at least 5, 6 stories tall. I mean, you can't drop a person off of 5, 6 stories and then expect them to come to a abrupt halt without killing them. That's the simple nature about that. I don't care how big the suit is, you still got a person inside of there. It's kind of like the experiment when you do in school, where you put the egg in the spaceship and you drop it off the slide and see if you can stop the egg from cracking. Also, if you look at the body and the brain, that's another major factor. Like in kids, it's called shaken baby syndrome. It's where when, like if they shake a baby too much, their brain actually hits the inside of their skull. Now, the human brain is designed in a way where it has fluid around the brain. And it's for a particular reason, to protect the brain. Because if it didn't have fluid around the brain and just air, it wouldn't have nothing to slow its descent for it's hitting the inside of the skull or jarring inside of the skull. So the fluid in your brain, it also it not only keeps the brain moist and fluid, it keeps blood around it, or the fluid around it, for it's keeping it conditioned. It also stops it from actually, like I said, smashing the inside of your skull. Now, that being said, people that's adults have that same problem when you have car wrecks, when you hit a wall or something going 60 miles an hour or faster, and you come to that abrupt stop, and your skull hits the inside of your head, gives you concussions, migraines, things of that nature. That alone, if your brain hits the inside of the skull too hard, can kill you, even as an adult. Okay. So that's the base of the thing I would design this cockpit on. It's basically having an exoskeleton that you wear on your body that's like with a wetsuit. And the exoskeleton that you wear on your body, which is represented by this figure here, is basically not used to map the actual movements of the joints, the knees, the elbows, the shoulders, and give feedback to the actual mecha through the computer to tell it what to do. Now, I also put these rubber tensioners with safety cables in it. That way, with these mechanisms on there, so when you get in there, you can actually hit a device, hit a button that's linked to these devices, and actually pull them tight. So you have the tension, and you can actually adjust the tension in the rubber tensioners to hold you in place and outside the exoskeleton, and keep you center of the spear, or center of the exoskeleton. Okay. So basically, you're in that fluid, and anytime you fall in impact, your body's going to try to go this way or go that way. The cables absorb that energy. The rubber cables, like shocks on a car or on a monster truck, for when you jump in high jumps, things of that nature, and it absorbs that shock and allows your body to move inside of there. When you're taking those impacts, when you're falling down, up and down. That way you're not just laying directly against the bigger exoskeleton and coming to a abrupt halt. The water around it, actually, just like resistance training in water, slows your body just like it slows your arms in the water, or slows a diver diving in the water, to actually aid that. So also, like I said, the water basically, like I said, basically slowing your body's movements, just like your resistance training. You're traveling through a thicker substance. So like the honeybee traveling through wind, it's like his wing traveling through instead of air is water. If it's moving real fast, or at the slower speeds of your arm, you want to the fluid pressure is actually slowing it down because it's going through a thicker substance than air. So like I said, basically, like I said, resistance training slows the limbs down and slows your descent, just like a diver, or just like the brain does in his head with the fluid around it. What I wanted to do also, maybe do some power joints to the exoskeleton, not to lift heavy weights or not, just to help you be able to move through the water since you are going to have the resistance at the joint. The fluid itself is that stop the mass of the body from slinging left to right inside of the actual chamber. Now you might see it standing on this ball here. The reason why I put the ball there, just like you have, if you ever open up a video game controller, you got a little joystick. Well, it's got a little ball on there. That ball rolls around little other balls that acts like little bearings, but they're also sensors. And basically, like say if the person wants the joystick on here, if you move it around, it moves the ball and it shows these sensors give feedback to the computer to tell like your favorite character on Mortal Kombat to kick, run, jump, walk forward, things of that nature. Well, instead of having a joystick, the person actually moves on it, and it's also gonna have markers on the ball and other sensors that are reading where the ball is and how fast the markers going across the sensor to and that's what's gonna help you along with the exoskeleton reading the body's movement to regulate, help regulate speed of the exoskeleton and give it even more feedback to the actual computer to control the mecha through fly-by-wire systems. Now, back to the exoskeleton, I still want to do muscle sensors on it, so it even can read the muscle sensors in the body, sensors of mecha, to help give those signals. So this way is going to be giving signals three ways: through muscle sensors, through the exoskeletal frame system that's attached to the body, through each joints, and through this big ball here, which I'm going to build it at the lightest material possible. It's going to be filled with liquid. This whole chamber, even, it's going to build like a offside 8, and it's all filled with liquid, even the ball. And that material that's the ball is going to be made of is going to be light as possible. Maybe have a gripping surface with texture on the bottom of the feet of the exoskeleton, so it can grip the ball even underwater, and like kind of like a Velcro like setting, so you can have grip on that ball, and it's going to stabilize the feet. That's the thing for that. That's the reason why that ball there. So like I said, it's going to have three ways to sense how the body moving through the ball, the exoskeleton, and muscle sensors to tell the mech what to do. And that's why I was saying, like, this is like the size of that cockpit. And don't mind the robot. I just did that as a rough thing just to show you where the cockpit and how big it is opposed to how little the person is inside. Now I will have an oxygen mask going through a feed tube to supply extra oxygen for safety precaution. I will have another oxygen tank on the back of the exoskeleton. If in the event that you lose air from the tube, you can just pull the helmet off and pull another gas mask to a small tank that's on your back, and they give you more air. And that's just until you escape the hatch right here and unlink yourself from the exoskeleton. And that's basically my rough idea for is having a cockpit that'll be for a large 4-story tall or taller exoskeleton. I'm sure you're gonna be basically, even with this cockpit, limited to, I say, about 6 stories, and then that's no, I would say like 3-4 stories, like 4 stories, and after that, even if you're falling off for some high, you still have to have some worries, because like I said, it's only, even in this design, it's only so far you can fall. You're looking at even in a 5-foot suit with this cockpit with the safety features, at say a 10-story drop is your limit. After anything higher than 10 stories, you're still risk killing the actual person inside the suit. Okay, this is Eric Linwood, and I'll be back with you with more cool ideas and concepts and more elevated exoskeleton armor updates.